You are the player. Because your vision is our vision.
From the makers of ColecoVision comes Gemini. Video game system. Uses game cartridges made for the Atari VCS. This is a really cool game system. It's one of my favorites I have in my collection. I remember seeing these advertised in the Christmas catalogs. They were cheaper than the Atari 2600. And I never did own one because I already had a 2600 at the time. But I thought they were really cool, especially with these custom controllers that had both a paddle and a joystick all in one. That was pretty cool. I thought it was really awesome. And what led up to all this? Well, before the Gemini, Coleco released this expansion module for their ColecoVision. This allowed you to play your Atari 2600 games on your ColecoVision game console. When Coleco came out with this, it really expanded the library of the ColecoVision to include all the 2600 games at the time. So if you had a 2600 already and you want to get a ColecoVision, this gave you an excuse to give your parents, like, look, I can get this little module here and I can still play all my Atari games too. Awesome. And because, Coleco won the lawsuit brought against them by Atari for making this was all built with off-the-shelf components, which is why Coleco won. This opened the doorway for a clone console. Basically, expansion module number 1 is a fully self-contained Coleco Gemini. You just have to plug it in the ColecoVision to give it power and to give it a video out. Otherwise, it's a standalone 2600 in its own right. So they took all that technology that it came up with to make a dedicated console, and they called it the Gemini. They also called it the Columbia Home Arcade because they provided it to CBS Columbia House to sell as part of their deal, where you buy a couple games for like $4.95, buy 2 more within a year or something like that. I was part of the Columbia House Club, but I didn't have one of these. I basically was just buying Atari games from Columbia House for a while. But anyway, the box is really cool. It has a nice little stack of all the game cartridges right here. Bonus cartridges included. Now, some of these came with Donkey Kong. Some came with like Donkey Kong and Mousetrap. And this one here came with Frontline, which is pretty cool. Frontline's a fun arcade game. And it's not too bad translated to the 2600. Anyway, on the side of the box here, you can see this came from Zayre's, and it was $39.99 at the time. Then on the back of the box, it shows a nice close-up view of the Gemini console, the KidVid module, which is extra. These awesome controllers. These controllers are actually really nice. They work really well. They're probably one of my favorite controllers to use. So let's take a look at what's in the box. I'm already taken down the box. So right here is its styrofoam sarcophagus. And right there is the Gemini in all its glory. Pretty cool. Got a cartridge slot right there. Flip it around. So we have our on-off switch, color black and white, game select. We have the reset. We have our difficulty switches right here. Joystick ports, only 2. On the back we have our channel select switch. We have our RF out and our power supply. And of course on the bottom it talks about the Gemini video game system, serial number 44710, model number S92190. Made in Taiwan. Dun, 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 dun. Pretty awesome. Now, when you're trying to get one of these, the most common issue that these things have are these joystick ports right here. Over time, from plugging in controllers, unplugging them, and forcing the controllers in and everything, it'll actually break the solder joints inside. These are not well retained on the circuit board inside. So what I've had to do to this one and a couple other ones that I've already done videos on was to strengthen up the mounts to where they don't move around as much when you unplug and plug controllers in, to try to help keep the solder joints from breaking. So a lot of times you'll get these, and one of the things you'll have wrong is the controller ports won't work because the solder joints are busted. Other than that, it's a pretty well built little console. Well, there's the power supply right there. Coleco video game, model number 91617. And of course, we have our Coleco switch box. I remember these quite well. And here's where the pack-in game cartridge is kept, right here on the side. This one came with Frontline. You can see right here, bonus cartridge included with Gemini purchase, non-refundable. Pretty cool. Normally they came with Donkey Kong. And I believe there were some that came with 2 games, Donkey Kong and Mousetrap, if I remember correctly. Pretty awesome. Of course, here's one of the controllers. These controllers are so cool. Dual command. Got a fire button on the side. Nice joystick. Paddle control, which works really well. Not bad at all. They're pretty well built controllers. Now you're probably wondering, okay, now we know we have some 4-player games on the Atari 2600. How in the heck do you play 4-player games like Warlords? Well, Coleco solved that by releasing the Dual Command Advanced Controller set with combination joystick and paddle. New controllers for your Atari VCS. Pretty cool. Now these you can use on your Atari 2600. Now the controllers do work with them. But if you had the Y cable, which this came with, you can hook up 2 sets of these to have 4 controllers. Right there is the Y cable. So you can play Warlords. Pretty awesome. Now I've done a video on this by itself. I'll put a link down to the notes down below so you can check that out. Definitely something to get a hold of if you like collecting old Atari stuff, Coleco stuff. I thought this was kind of cool to have with the Gemini collection that I've been putting together. So, let's go ahead and hook this thing all up, and we'll try the Frontline cartridge it came with, and maybe I'll try a couple other games. Stay tuned. Okay, we're going to try Frontline first, the game that came with this Gemini. It's not too bad of a translation of the arcade game to the old 2600 or the Gemini, so let's give it a run here. I like how his little feet move. Okay, gotta see if I can get to the tank. Not get shot. Bang! Oh, they're coming for me. Oh, ooh, that was close. Got him. Where's that tank? Come on, where's that tank? Oh, shoot, oh, shoot, oh, shoot. Ooh, got him. Whoa, he just come running for me. Where's the bridge? There we go. Take that. Oh! Oh! So let's try another game here. We'll plug in the old Harmony cartridge. Now the Harmony cartridge, you got to use the paddle control to select your game. So let's try a paddle game. Let's do Warlords. There we go. Now when you want to select the game, you push to the right on the joystick. And start. Now, you would think you would push it on the fire button on the side to capture the fireball, but you don't. Unfortunately, with the ColecoVision, the Gemini controller, you got to hold the joystick to the right in order to capture the fireball. So I'll hold it to the right here. There we go. So you got to get a little bit used to that difference in the gameplay. Other than that, it works fairly well. As you can see, the paddle control responds really nice. So let's try another game. Let's do Breakout. No, let's do Kaboom first. I like Kaboom. We gotta play Kaboom. H-I-J-K. Where's Kaboom? Oh, past it. Kaboom. bobber. There it is. Kaboom. Boop. And just like in Warlords, you got to hit the joystick to the right to start the gameplay. Off we go. The paddle controls respond really nicely. Not bad at all. The Gemini also has a fairly decent picture as well. Not a whole lot of interference on it. I love this game. Kaboom is such a great game. So let's go do Breakout. It's another paddle game I really like to play. Breakout. There it is. Breakout. Boop. This definitely shows how well the paddle control responds. That is nice. Here we go. Brick bustin' bashin' fun. Bam. I used to play this game for hours in the arcade at the grocery store where I used to go shopping with my mom. She gave me a couple quarters and I go play Breakout. Love this game. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the Coleco Gemini, I did a podcast mini-sode for the ColecoVision's podcast. I think it's mini-sode number 5, where John Lester, GameStar You Wanted, Brett Weiss, the gaming author, and I discuss the Coleco Gemini. It's one of the earlier podcast episodes. So if you'd like to go listen to that, I'll put a link in the notes down below, so you can check that out as well. As always, everyone, thanks for watching. Bustin' bricks, bustin' bricks, bustin' bricks, yeah. So much fun. Boing, boing. Oh, rats.
Okay, Gemini! Smart, Louie. Smart!
Remember, Gemini beats Atari by one hand controller, a cartridge, and $25 in free coupons.
You are the player, because your vision is our vision. The player.